Hi Pisces, welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings from the Heart. Thanks ever so much for joining me on your November 2017 General Gypsy Tarot Love Spread. So for this month we're just going to do monthly. I'll try and come back mid-month and see if I can do a mid-month reading. And I'm not separating the readings into singles and couples anymore. Really, I'm just going to do it all as one. And we're just going to have a look what's coming in for you guys in love in the month of November 2017. You've also got... oh, that's interesting. Okay, very interesting. Right. So yeah, obviously I can't take those cards because I never take cards that throw themselves out anyway. I always put them back in. If they come back up, they've got added meaning. But it's a Gypsy Tarot, so we've got to, you know, take from the top. So yeah, you've got your generals coming up as well, Pisces, for November as well. So Universe Spirit, what's coming up for Pisces? Show me Pisces. What's coming in for Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising signs? Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. Only for love, please, in this reading. In a Gypsy Tarot Love Spread. What's coming in for Pisces? Show me Pisces and love. What's coming in for Pisces and love? Show me what's coming in for Pisces and love in November 2017. What's coming in for Pisces and love? What's coming in for Pisces and love? Show me what's coming in for Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising signs and love in a 21 card Gypsy Tarot spread for November 2017. Show me. Let's split the deck into three. We'll collect it back up and we're going to start laying your cards down. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay. Okay, some of you guys might have a surprise coming in potentially. Let's have a look at what the but I think communication might be a little bit one-sided this month for some of you guys in terms of love. We'll see what comes out in the reading. You've got around you mental and emotional. It's about the Nine of Wands in the reverse. So the situation with the Nine of Wands in the reverse is when you're no longer waiting for something, you're backing down, you're surrendering. It's almost like Seven of Wands is different because Seven of Wands is about pushing people out. And the Nine of Wands can be too, because this person in the upright often tends to be quite defensive. And she tends to be quite, he or she tends to be quite territorial. But this can also be the card. I mean, on the Witch's Tarot, it doesn't show it like it does on the Rider-Waite. On the Rider-Waite, it shows somebody who's on edge. Usually on the Nine of Wands, it's somebody who's on edge. They're you know, you can get somebody who's very kind of nervous and they're anticipating something. And there's a lot of nervous energy with that Rider-Waite particular card. This one, this person's standing up for their rights and they're not backing down. For me, the reversal of this Witch's Tarot card, because I always look at the pictures as well, and this girl doesn't seem on edge on this particular picture. She seems like she's standing in her power. But for me, in the reverse, looking at this particular deck, she looks like she's relenting. So the situation might be that some of you guys are giving up on something. You might be just surrendering to someone. You might be waving the red flag. It's the situation. Somebody might be doing it to you. I'm getting surrender here with the situation. Around that surrender, the mental and emotional, how are you dealing with that surrender? Well, you're doing a lot of evaluation with the Seven of Coins around that, because the Seven of Coins means to either wait or you're evaluating. You're waiting to see what your investment reaps. So this is why sometimes it's called the card of waiting. especially if you've invested in a relationship and it's no longer there and you're waiting for something to come back. You want to see if the investment that you've put into something brings returns. So the situation is about surrendering. And around that surrendering mentally and emotionally, I think that you guys are actually, it's not waiting, I think you're doing a lot of evaluation here. Perhaps do you continue investing in something or not? And what's the reason for the Seven of Coins? Because of the Three of Cups. There might be other people involved in this situation here, Pisces. Three of Cups is traditionally a card about groups, so sometimes this can be a third party situation showing up here. So it might be that the situation is about surrendering and giving up, and around that, mentally and emotionally, it's not like it's in the reverse and you're no longer waiting here either. It's more that you're evaluating something around this surrender with that Seven of Coins, because it might be that there are more than one person that is affected by a situation. For example, the Three of Cups could be two parents and a child, for example, or you could be evaluating this surrendering down or backing down on this situation here because you've got a great friendship. Three of Cups also represents friendships, or because you want to agree to something. Three of Cups also means partnerships and agreements. What's going on around your present situation? What's the situation? Well, the Six of Swords is about moving on. So the situation might be about you or somebody else moving on. Six of Swords, if we wanted to use the general terminology, you know, moving to clearer waters, leaving the past behind, all of that good stuff. But this is all about moving on and getting a clearer perspective on a situation. And around that, what's happening in the present situation? Well, I'm seeing rebirth. Not necessarily, I don't know whether this is necessarily to do with a renewal of a relationship, because we've got the situation of being about moving on. So if you're moving on with the Six of Swords, it might be that for some of you guys, it could be, yeah, you're renewing something with an individual, because when we get the Six of Swords, it's not all about leaving a relationship. Sometimes this is about moving on from things that have been bad in a relationship, so that you can, you know, move to new waters. You can kind of just wipe the slate clean. So for some of you guys, it could be the situation is about moving on from a negative aspect within a relationship, and around that there might be a reconnection for some of you guys. But for some of you guys, you might literally be moving on from a situation, and around that what you're experiencing is a rebirth, a reawakening, and a resurrection of yourselves in the situation. Freedom, in other words, with that Karma card. But what's the reason for that? Because of the Seven of Swords. So I think that this is more that you guys are leaving a situation here, Pisces, because I think there was a Seven of Swords individual around you, and the Seven of Swords is often somebody who's underhanded and they lie, and they don't particularly tell the truth, and they're very deceptive as a character. So I think that you guys are moving on here. The situation is about moving on, and around that I feel that you guys are feeling, the present situation is you feel a sense of rebirth and rejuvenation and freedom from a situation, because I think that it was either you were deceiving yourselves or there was somebody who was deceiving you. And if you were deceiving yourselves, not necessarily the person was deceiving you, but it might be that you were in a relationship with somebody who couldn't commit, and you tried and you tried and you tried, and it just simply didn't work. This person didn't want to commit, you wanted to commit. So you could have been deceiving yourself continuing in such a relationship. You might have released yourself from that, but you might also release yourself from a deceptive energy around you. I think that you've been freed here in the present situation. Around the hopes and desires for love, well, the Three of Wands is the situation. Sometimes the Three of Wands can have your ships coming in. So for some of you guys, the situation is about waiting for somebody new to come into your life with that Three of Wands. And for some of you guys, the situation might be still waiting for somebody that you've already invested in to come back. But I don't think it's that, because I see you guys being reborn here in this section here. Around that Three of Wands, what is your hopes? Well, to receive justice. That's interesting, because justice is a neutral card really for me. This can mean anything, you know. So, you know, might be some of you guys are waiting for a Libra individual justice, but I think it's more than that. I think that your hopes are to receive justice. The situation is you seem to have been waiting for something here, and you're hoping that you're going to receive your justice on whatever it is that you're waiting for. And what's the reason for that? Because of the Page of Cups. And I think that this is because you've been rejected in love with that Page of Cups energy. Okay, so I do see some of you guys moving on here, and I think that around your hopes, well, the Three of Wands is looking out to see. So you're looking out to make new connections here, and around that you're hoping that you're going to receive those new connections or somebody new coming in, because I think that you guys have been on a little bit, for some of you guys, of a low period. You've been rejected in love with that Page of Cups being in the reverse. Your expectations around love. Well, the Seven of Wands is the situation, and this is often blocking people out. So the Seven of Wands can be a card where you have got a lot of suitors around you. You've got a lot of people that are showing you interest, Pisces. But with the Seven of Wands, what you'd be doing is you'd be saying, fuck off, please, 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 just leave me alone. I'm really not interested. Around that Seven of Wands being the situation, what are you guys expecting? Well, you were probably expecting to build on yourselves. The Empress energy shows up here. So some of you guys might be expecting that maybe a time of due diligence and maybe a time of not having a relationship, with this Seven of Wands being the situation, that what you'll start to do around that, with the Empress being your expectations as a result of this energy, is to start to flourish and start to build on yourself, start to build on your own beauty. So Empresses show up when you go shopping, when you get a new hairstyle, for example, with the Empress, when you're doing your nails, or you're buying a new suit, or, you know, you're making some form of an investment, a luxurious investment within the self. For some of you guys, it might be that you're expecting that you'll indulge in, you know, Empresses also show up when you're indulging in rich foods and things like that. If this card is not so good, then this card probably would become more that some of you guys might be expecting, well, the Seven of Wands being the situation, if I block love out, then I'm expecting the Empress. So this would be maybe to grow bigger, to be doing more of the, you know, the things that you shouldn't be doing in terms of eating all the rich foods and shopping too much, and you know, just investing in things, because she's a luxury card. So she'll show up when you're doing too much shopping, for example, or you're eating too many trifles or cakes, or you know, drinking too many milkshakes. That type of thing is the Empress. What's the reason for this Empress, though? Because of the Ace. Well, yeah, I think that you're expecting that you'll grow like this Empress. She's a beautiful card, and in her more positive light, she's somebody who is prosperous. But also, I mean, it could be good, because the Ace of Swords in the reverse for me also suggests to block things out, or block people out as well. It's a sword card and it's reverse. Ace of Swords in the upright can mean communication, but in the reverse this can mean lack of communication. But it can also mean lack of clarity, or still feeling quite stuck mentally wise in a situation. So some of you guys might be expecting that you'll indulge maybe in all of the wrong things, possibly to make up for whatever it is that's gone on here and here. Let's have a look at what the hidden factors are showing for love. Well, you've got Page of Swords. The situation around the Page of Swords can be argument or a message, but usually all pages are different in terms of messengers, okay? So the Page of Swords is usually somebody that doesn't send a message, or they're sending a not very nice message to you. The Page of Cups is a lovely message when it's in the upright. It's a romantic message. Page of Wands is a fun-filled message. It's exciting, passionate message. And Page of Pentacles is a messenger. Sometimes it can be a proposal, but sometimes that Page of Pentacles can mean that somebody's not contacting you at all, because it's slow moving energies. It's the Pentacles. There's a message situation going on here. What is it you're not seeing coming in regarding a message? Well, apparently it's good. You've got the Four of Wands showing up here, which is interesting. So, but not really, because the situation with the Page of Swords for me has always been about a message that's not great. Some people would explain it differently. They might say, well, it's a text message, or the message comes in immediately. But this message is manifesting as your hidden factors, the Four of Wands. So it's around a relationship or a home or something like that, family situation. And what's that message? What's this based on? Well, no, it's good, because you've got the Seven of Cups. So something's coming through. Something is being revealed to you. You've got the Seven of Cups where you come to reality. But also, the situation is based on somebody coming to reality. Alright, so therefore we have to look at the cards have all sorts of meanings to them. So as a tarot reader, sometimes you've got to look at every single meaning. Well, you'd really do, because I would usually associate the Page of Swords not being a very good message. But now we can probably say, well, maybe there's some form of a text message coming to you, some form of a, you know, communication over text, over email, perhaps, with this Page of Swords, and it's around a relationship. Possibly reconciliation, could be Four of Wands, but it's around this message. It should be something good. Maybe this is going to be a surprise as well. Four of Wands often means surprise in the tarot. I do think you've got some form of a surprising message that will come through email or text, and it looks to me that it's based on somebody who's now seeing the light. Seven of Cups in the reverse means when you're coming to reality, you're no longer confused. The immediate future for Pisces shows the Queen of Cups, and I think that you'll need to, the situation is the need to rely on your intuition with this Queen of Cups energy, because around that, what's manifesting in the immediate future around that intuition, it's about the Queen of Wands, and that's interesting. It might be another person, top tier, fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, especially if there's a third party situation going on here. So it might be that you need to use your intuition, and that's why this situation might be, you know, the Page of Swords might not just be a text message, it might be a difficult message as well, and that difficult message might be around the relationship. It'll come as a surprise, the Four of Wands, or about a relationship with the Four of Swords, in which somebody seems to have come to reality over that with the Four of Cups. Now if this is a third party, then you'll need to use your intuition concerning maybe another individual here, or it could be that you'll need to use your intuition, especially if this is good here, in which around that intuition you're going to need to look at, well, your, you know, how fearless or how confident are you about the situation, because the Queen of Wands is all about confidence and fearlessness. And what's the Queen of Wands based on? The King of Cups. That's interesting, Pisces. She's showing up because of the King of Cups. Difficult because you've got 3 court cards here. This is the situation of the Queen of Cups, and this is all about using your emotional intellect and your intuition. What does your intellect, your emotional intellect, your emotional thoughts, what does your emotional experience in this situation tell you? What is your intuition guiding you to do, being the situation? Because around that using of your intuition, we have coming in, it's about a Queen of Wands. Okay, and that's because of, so maybe this person's revealing something to you about another individual here, or this could be, well, the situation is about using your intuition, and how that's manifesting is, you know, are you passionate and driven enough with this Queen of Wands maybe to do something around this King of Cups energy showing here. The overall outcome shows the Nine of Cups, so there's wishes being fulfilled here and a sense of smugness being the situation, but around that Nine of Cups you've got the, yeah, it's brilliant, you've got the Devil, because this situation incurs the overall outcome around this wish being fulfilled, feeling happy, feeling emotional contentment, is that something is being released here that's been a massive burden on some of you guys with the shadow side. And what's the reason for that shadow side showing up here? Because I think there's going to be something for you guys to focus on and work on in a situation. I don't know whether this is another individual. There's 2 ways that I could possibly see these outcome cards, and that is, you know, the situation around your present your immediate future situation will all be all about using your intuition with this Queen of Cups energy, and around that, the immediate future, that intuition is showing is the Queen. So what's manifesting is a Queen of Wands. So what's this situation about? It's about using your intuition, but how is that manifesting as the immediate future? Well, it's about a Queen of Wands. Could be another individual. As I've said, possibly a fire sign, doesn't have to be, but this individual is showing up because of the King of Cups. So it could be that somebody's telling you about somebody else, and that might be why the situation with the Page of Swords might be bad news, okay, around a relationship. Hidden factors are showing a relationship here that somebody's very clear on, they've made a definite choice on. So it might be that you're getting news that somebody that you were into has made a definite choice on somebody else, showing here this Queen of Wands, and the outcome could be, well, with this Nine of Cups, the situation is, yeah, you're feeling far more contented and emotionally stable with that Nine of Cups energy, because around that the overall outcome is you're releasing something that was burdening you, and the reason that you're releasing this thing is because you now have with the Eight of Pentacles something else to focus on, or something else to work towards with the Eight of Pentacles energy. For some of you guys this won't be a person, it will be your own energy in which your intuition is the situation, and around that the immediate future is showing your fearlessness, your confidence, and that confidence is based on the King of Cups energy. Well, what is your emotional intellect telling you again with this King of Cups? It's all to do with your emotional intelligence. What is that telling you? And it might be telling you in the outcome, well, the situation is about the Nine of Cups, feeling happy, feeling contented, feeling satisfied, because around that you are finally being able to release something here with the shadow side. And what you're releasing is based on, possibly for some of you guys, because we're seeing the release card here, so it could be that what you're releasing here in the overall outcome is based on the Eight of Pentacles, all of the hard work and effort you've had to put into a situation here. So I'm seeing you releasing something no matter what in this reading. We're going to go through this reading again for you, Pisces. I think that in the month of November, you guys, the situation is about surrendering, putting down that wand and saying, you know what, actually, I'm not holding on to this thing anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not going to, you know, I'm not fighting for this thing. The Nine of Wands in the upright is about fighting for things. No matter how tough things get, you're always fighting to keep something going or keep something alive. Around that Seven of Wands, the surrender card of the Nine of Wands in the reverse, we see you guys mentally and emotionally. I think that you've been doing a lot of contemplation here around this energy. So mentally and emotionally, I think that you're still, with the Seven of Pentacles, doing some evaluation on the situation, and that's because of the Three of Cups. It might be that I don't think this is a third party situation for some reason. I don't get that impression, because you're the ones that are doing the evaluation based on this. Situation is Nine of Wands reversed, surrendering, giving up on a situation here, and around that, mentally and emotionally, for me, you're still in evaluation mode here, and that's because of the Three of Cups. So you wouldn't be evaluating something still if it was a third party situation, and especially you're giving up on it, you're more than likely just to let go. So for me, this is about, with this Three of Cups energy, you're still evaluating something, because perhaps somebody brought you great joy, perhaps you had a great friendship with this individual, perhaps you've still got some form of an agreement that's open on a situation. The present situation shows the Six of Swords. I think you guys are gradually moving on as a situation, and around that, what you're finding in the present moving on is newfound freedom with the Karma energy, a sense of relief with the Karma energy, and that's because of the Seven of Swords. It could be based on the fact that you were lying to yourself, or it could be based on the fact that somebody was a liar and they were or deceiver, or very, very underhanded. And I get the impression that some of you guys are releasing an energy of somebody who's been like this. In the hopes and desires, well, the Three of Wands is all about having your ships come in which your hopes are to receive justice. So secretly, for some of you guys, you are looking for somebody to come back to you, because the ship's coming in with the Three of Wands can work several ways, and one of the ways the Three of Wands can work is that you've invested in something already, and what you're waiting for is that investment to be returned to you in threefold. And around that, so if you're waiting for someone with the Three of Wands as the situation, your hopes would be, well, you're going to get your justice on it because of the Page of Cups, because this person rejected you with the Page of Cups. So some of you guys will be hoping for somebody to come back, and some of you guys, it will be that the situation is all about launching new ships, and you're hoping to perhaps get your justice on new people, new romance, because you've been rejected in the past with the Page of Cups in the reverse. Around your expectations, though, the situation is about standing your ground and perhaps blocking out love, because around that, what you're expecting is growth with that Empress energy. But the growth is not based on an Ace of Swords in the upright, saying that you've got clarity. It might be that you're expecting growth because this situation with whoever this Page of Cups in the reverse is, and the Seven of Swords, which I think is the same person, it didn't change, it was stuck. So that's how we can look at it positively, that your expectation is growth with the Empress energy showing here, because the Ace of Swords in the reverse, there's nothing that you can do to change whatever this situation is with this individual. Though some of you guys might be hoping for this individual to come back, you know that there's nothing really that you can do to change the situation with whatever's going on with this individual. In the hidden factors, some of you guys, the situation will be around a message coming to you, and it's around a relationship, Page Four of Wands, in which somebody is now very clear. Now, if this message comes via text, email, whatever it is, and somebody says to you, you know, I'm now very clear, I really want this relationship, I think overall in the immediate future, you guys will need to rely on your Queen of Cups energy being the situation, your intuition. And around that intuition, it's about, do you take a leap of faith? Do you go for this thing with the Queen of Wands? Do you move forward towards it? Do you grab it with both hands with that Queen of Wands energy? And that's because emotionally, with the King of Cups, you're very self-aware on who this individual is. And the King of Cups doesn't suffer people fools gladly. He's a loving king, but he's not a stupid one. So this would for me be all about, you know, well, do I do this with this person? They've come back, they said that they're very clear now on the relationship, but emotionally I've got a lot of emotional intelligence on who this person is, so do I go for it? And some some of you guys, it will be that the situation is feeling quite smug, satisfied with that Nine of Cups being the situation, because you guys will release a burden with that Devil in the reverse around that, and that's because you've had to put just too much hard work and effort into the situation, and it's time to release it. Now, for some of you guys, it will be that somebody will probably contact you with this Page of Swords energy. Might not be very nice contact, because it's around a relationship in which they're very clear and they've made a definite choice. And if that's the case, if there's somebody else, it might be that the situation is that you'll need to use your intuition with that Queen of Cups, okay? Because the Queen of Cups, and also the Queen of Cups, can internalize a lot of pain and get really hurt. So it might be with this Queen of Cups, you're feeling some emotional hurt that you're going to need to work your way through with that situation, because around that situation, there is a person showing up here, another individual, a Queen of Wands. As I've said, could be top tier, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, doesn't have to be. She's very sexy, very attractive, and she's showing up because of a King of Cups. So it might be that this is the person here. Could be a fellow water sign for some of you guys, could be somebody else, but it might be somebody else is telling you about this individual here, and the overall outcome will be, nevertheless, situation is, well, good, because you're feeling satisfied, because now finally, especially if you've been waiting for this person here, now finally, with this shadow side in the reverse, you can release this situation, because you've been spending too much time, putting too much kind of effort. You've been trying to move on, but some of you, this might have been sapping you with a little bit of energy, and finally it will be a chance just to release it, which is nice. Let's get your advice card, Pisces. Universe, Spirit, what's the advice that you have for Pisces on this reading? What's the advice that you have for Pisces on this reading for November 2017? Show me. Unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. There you go. So yeah, and this is what was coming up in your bottom cards. You know, we had a surprise message coming through about unrequited love, or about somebody not wanting to invest in something. So that might be what is going on here as well, because these were the three bottom cards. We had the Tower, which is usually a surprise, and then we had the Eight of Wands, which is message, and the Six of Pentacles in the reverse is often unrequited, or it's nobody's investing in anything, okay? It's one-sidedness, okay? Six of Pentacles in the upright can sometimes be where somebody's investing, but they're not investing enough. They're being a little bit held back and one side, you know, just not giving enough. But this is like completely sort of one-sided, and in the reverse, unrequited love. So this is why I felt there'd be a message for some of you guys, unexpected, with that Tower card, message with the Eight of Wands coming in about unrequited love, or something that somebody doesn't want to invest in with that Six of Cups, Six of Pentacles in the reverse. So yeah, but it, you know, whatever it is that happens here, Pisces, it's going to give you a chance to let go of something here, something that has been underneath the surface of everything, bugging you for quite some time. Alright, that's your reading, guys. I will see you guys on your generals. Speak to you soon. Take care.